How's it going, guys? It's Double Wide 6 here, and today I have a little video for you on how to sharpen your lawnmower blades. So I'm going to be using a bench grinder for this process, and I'm going to be wearing safety glasses. Don't be stupid. Put your safety glasses on. They're going to protect your eyes. And we're going to take you right through this process. It's not too difficult. So you can watch this video. I'm also making another video on how to sharpen a blade using instead of a bench grinder, just a hand grinder set up on a jig to sharpen the blades at like a 30-degree angle. So I'll show you the jig and I'll show you how to do that. The only other way that you can really do it is with a file, but that's going to take forever, so you might as well go out and get a $30 bench grinder so you can sharpen them right. So we'll show you the process. If you're interested, I have all kinds of videos for you on all kinds of different fix-it things. So please subscribe and please ask questions. I like receiving questions and I try and answer them the best I can. So it's Double Wide 6 and we'll get to the video now. So here's a look at my bench grinder. As you can see, it's a Craftsman. I got an 8-inch bench grinder. You're not going to be able to find this one for 30 bucks, but you can always go down to Harbor Freight and you can get a decent one that'll work for you for sharpening blades for 30 bucks. So we'll show you the process. So the first thing you want to do when you sharpen your blade is you want to take a look at the blade and you want to look for any dents. I know it's really hard to see, but we got a pretty good nick here, so I don't know if we hit a rock or what. But first thing we want to do is we're going to grind this edge, our cutting edge, just slightly flat. So we'll show you how to do that up on the wheel. So the first thing we're going to do is just lay the blade flat like this, and we're just going to straighten out the cutting edge. So once you run a light pass over that cutting edge, the next thing that you want to do is begin sharpening the blade. For big dents, I usually don't take them all the way out. You're going to take away a lot of metal just to get the whole blade completely sharp all the way down to the lowest level of the dent. So generally what I'll do is I'll sharpen the blade, and you know, if the dent's that big that there's still a little spot that's not sharpened, I'll just leave it alone. Otherwise you're just wasting the metal on the blade. So here we go. We're going to put the blade actually upside down like this, and this is the back of the blade and this is the front of the blade and the cutting edge. We're going to rest it on the tool rest and we're going to bring it straight across the wheel. You can see how some areas I got real well and some areas I missed. So I missed a little in here where it's dark, so we're going to try and clean that up. You can see that looks pretty sharp. The next thing I like to do is just one final pass all the way across. That keeps everything looking really nice and uniform. You can see it's very shiny and sharp there. And then I like to finish up by doing a slight pass on the back, just to knock off any burrs, and then one more light pass across the front. So there you go, you can see what we have. Looks real nice. Alright, so the last step in this process here is to check if the blade is balanced. So what I have is a screwdriver just coming horizontally straight out of my vise. I'm going to take our blade and we're just going to slip it on the screwdriver, and you want to look at it for balance. And you can see that that blade is balanced. You want to make sure that your blades are balanced, otherwise they're going to vibrate, and eventually, you know, if it's just a push mower, it's going to loosen up the oil seal and it'll start leaking oil. If it's a riding motor, it's going to cause it to be unbalanced. Things are going to rattle, and basically your bearings are going to wear out and your spindles are going to need to be replaced. So you always want to check that your blades are balanced. You should be able to turn the blade, and if it's balanced, it should stay right where you put it. So you can see how that's staying there like that. That means it's balanced. Whichever end swings down, if it's not balanced, the end that goes down is your heavier end. So if it were like this blade down here, this side would need to be resharpened, or you're just going to remove more metal, in other words, in order to make it you know, balanced or even. So that's how you can check if they're balanced. There's other ways to do it, but that's a real simple way, and that's usually how I do it. Alright guys, a couple other interesting things to note about blade sharpening. Number one, if you push too hard on a certain point of the blade, it's going to, you know, basically weaken the blade. It's going to turn purple, and once that metal starts turning purple, you're overheating it, it's getting too hot, and basically it's going to be real brittle, and you're basically wrecking the blade. So you want to keep the blade moving on the wheel as much as possible. Another thing, when you're sharpening your blades by yourself, you know, until you get skilled at it, they might not look beautiful, as far as you might see like some grinder marks, but your mower knows no difference. As long as that blade is balanced and the edge is sharp, it's going to cut beautifully. So they don't have to look like factory edges. As you get more and more skilled at sharpening, you'll be able to get factory looking edges. But when you take it to the mower shop and they sharpen it, they have a machine designed to sharpen blades, and yeah, it does look like a factory edge when they're done, but you also pay for it when you go to the shop. So that's some little side notes on that.